Hey folks, this is the update or the recap for the legislative week just ended. So of course, President Trump's inaugural, which I attended, of course, historic inside, and just a great event, very positive, happy to be there. It's the third time I've gotten to witness an inaugural in person, so it's a great honor. And of course, the president is now focused on many executive actions. I don't love executive action, to be quite honest with you. I would rather see the legislature do it because they're not enduring, and you get a new president and it all changes back and forth. But a lot of these legislative actions need to take place because the legislature is too slow in acting. Things like border security, I think, is a great thing. We're committed to not only border security, but a strong energy policy in America and driving down the cost of living for everybody. And so the actions taken in that regard, I think, will be helpful. But I sure hope that the legislature catches up with our new chief executive and codifies many of these things in law. And that's what I'm committed to working on. But it's just great being there. Received my committee assignments for the 119th Congress. So I'm going to serve on four committees: the Foreign Affairs Committee, the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee, the Oversight Committee, and the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence. I'm also a subcommittee chairman on the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee. I deal with economic development, FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Administration, and public buildings. And so looking forward to use that committee to find a bunch of savings and work with the new administration, in particular the DOGE committee, to find a bunch of savings and redundancies in federal property utilization. And as you know, if you've been watching over the last couple of years, we've identified many federal properties underutilized. We passed legislation that became law in the Biden administration to allow the sale or the releasing or co-locating of misutilized or underutilized federal properties, and we're going to continue that work. A couple major pieces of legislation enacted this week or passed in the House. One was the Laken Act, which allows states to be more proactive if the federal government doesn't safeguard their citizens against illegal foreign nationals entering and being in the country and committing crimes. Of course, Laken Riley was horrifically attacked, raped, and murdered in Georgia. Completely unnecessary. There's got to be accountability, and that's the result. So passed by the House and the Senate, headed to the president for a signature. Also, the Safe Forests Act, with California, another season of burning forests and burning homes. We wish to do things which will safeguard and make our forests more safe and less apt to burn every single season. And so when the states won't get involved and do what needs to be done, the federal government, because we always end up paying for these disasters, man-made or not, have looked to do what we can within the confines of the Constitution to make sure that our forests are safeguarded. And then finally, passage in the House. I voted for that Forest Act and also voted for the Laken Act, obviously. And then finally, the Born Alive Act, which was just passed, just saying that the children that are born through abortion, so there's an abortion happening, the child is born, we want to make sure that that child is cared for and given medical care. It's a horrific circumstance, obviously, but we want to make sure that we're empathetic and humane about the circumstance and making sure that that child is cared for and that child receives medical care and is not just left to die once it is born. So that's what that bill is about. And I think we can all agree, regardless of what your position is on that issue, that we must embrace our humanity and take care of those children once they're born. So with that, that's the legislative update for the week. We are working on several pieces of legislation: budget, reconciliation, and our funding for that runs out on March 14th. That's a continual process, as well as many other things. So we'll be back, and we'll just let you know what happens the next time we come back. Until then, stay warm and be safe. God bless you.